Really, I don't see much of a change in Apache. I'm wondering if he's got some damage to the
Yeah.
coffin bone,
You know, I'd
you
really,
know, because
I'm sorry, go ahead.
because of the way his feet are growing,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not really changing,
Yeah. It's
you
kind of
know.
that way with Jackie too. In some regards, I am seeing a few positive things that I didn't really realize how contracted her heels were and how her bulbs were squeezed totally together. She had a false frog. Not only do they get false heels, they get false frog. And if they have that laminar wedge, you just have to work with that thing. Because if you go to try and trim it out, you know, make the hoof wall go down, it just shoves their little foot back further internally to where they'll knuckle over. And so I've just been not worrying about that. I mean, I take the breakover back a little, you know, but I don't worry too much about that toe and how it looks. And then I noticed she is finally, her bulbs are, I didn't even realize that they were the way they were. I knew they were really pulled under. I don't know why. I don't know why I wasn't seeing it. But
Yeah.
now, at least in one foot, her bulbs are starting to separate. And she walks around great. And she even trots.
Yeah.
And she's totally comfortable. But she ain't running no foot races. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's Apache. He's comfortable. He runs. He gallops
Okay.
and runs. But as
Well,
long as he's comfortable, I'm not going to worry too much about
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, I kept thinking I had to get that foot to look anatomically correct. And anytime I really tried that, it wasn't good. You
Yeah.
know, so finally I just, because she's rotated all the way up through the coronary band.
Yeah.
So once it rotates
Well, that
that far,
it won't get better.
yeah, it won't. I mean,
No.
maybe some miracle will happen here. Who knows? Maybe it'll rotate back a little bit or something. But I don't know. I'm not going to
Well,
try and force it.
we haven't figured that one out yet.
Yeah, yeah, we
But
haven't.
but I mean, you know, as long I think once they've been so far so long that it's next to impossible to bring them out of it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
just make them comfortable, and about all you
yeah,
can do.
yeah. It's not like you're going to be riding them, you know.
No, I
Uh,
won't be riding mine.
yeah, I would never ride mine anyway. You know, that would
Yeah,
be abuse. I almost
yeah,
feel like riding my thoroughbred is abuse. So,
yeah.
you know,
But
so,
no, I think that if we start, you know, tacked with a young horse that doesn't have any problems, I think we can keep them that way.
yeah, yeah.
But once some distortions have started, I don't think you can really cure them.
Well, especially if, like, even with Valor, I trimmed his heels out for so long, I know they're crushed. You
Yeah.
know, the cartilage in the heel is crushed. I learned that from Molly. And I
Hmm.
also learned, I thought her heels were fully restored, but I also learned from her that they weren't, that she had
Yeah.
about another inch to go. And this is really exciting because I got something really exciting to show you that I
Okay.
learned about mapping the foot. And it's like one of those things that's just right in front of your face, but you're not seeing it,
Yeah.
you know, so that we can tell, well, at least I think, okay, that we can tell how much heel we got to go and how much is trimmed out and what is going on with the foot. And
Yeah.
anyway, I'm pretty excited about that. And
Good.
also learning more about the frog, um, just how much the frog can bind the foot up if you don't get that thing really trimmed down.
Yeah.
Um, that I've really been seeing big time too. And
Yeah.
anyway, those two things I'm real excited about. Kind of a
Well,
new
good.
revelation, stuff that's right in front of your face and you're seeing it but you're not, you know.
Yeah, happens all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
Well,
Gene,
you concentrate on one or two things, and you're missing some other stuff.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know,
And me and you, we've been together a long time now, haven't we?
yeah, we have.
Clear back to the
Yeah.
Yahoo group.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, clear back when you wanted me to trim Apache's heels to the periopal flap,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
which
Well,
I never did.
thank God. Well,
Yeah,
I did.
yeah. Well,
Well, that's,
he has a lot of heel,
yeah,
and I think he still has too much now, but because he had, he had these problems,
yeah,
I'm debating whether how much of those heels I want to take down.
yeah. I was just laughing about that.
Yeah,
About that. Yeah, because that's what I learned from Cheryl Henderson.
yeah,
See?
but
Yep.
yeah, I remember I tried all that stuff, and I was a little apprehensive because I thought, man, that's an awful lot to take off on a foot.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that. I was just totally dead blind.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do it. I was like,
Yeah, thank
no.
God.
Yeah, well, my mare, I didn't do it with her, but I found out that her feet were too tall, at
Mm-hmm.
one point because
Yeah,
she was dragging her toe.
yeah,
And I kept asking, I think I asked one time why her toes were looking square because she was dragging them. Well, I think it was because they were just too long,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
probably.
And she moved, I think the way she moved. Yeah, because after I trimmed the toes back a little bit, she quit. You know.
Yeah, I must have been the blind leading the little less blind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just was like, I don't know. I was afraid to
Know
do a
about
lot of
that.
this.
Yeah, I don't, well, good for you because fools rush in where angels fear to tread.
Yeah.
See what I mean? And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I just went in hook, line, and sinker into all of it, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and at the time that I found you, I had a barefoot trimmer come out,
mm-hmm,
and she started Apache. In fact, she got him through when he found her.
uh-huh.
And but then she just goes, "Oh well," she says, you get it, you know what you're doing." And then I could never find her again. She would never come back. Left me hanging.
That's
And that's
funny.
when I found you, and I was like, I knew how to trim a little bit, but not like I was confident enough
Yeah.
at it.
No,
And so
what's
I was out left on my own.
mm-hmm. Yeah, see what's
So,
bad is that
I mean,
what's bad is that even with me and all the junk I was doing, you're still doing better than with some of these people,
yeah.
you know.
Well, I was afraid that I was going to harm the horse, is what I was
Yeah.
afraid. You
Well,
know,
I did harm some horses.
yeah.
You know, I harmed my own horses and not as much others that I didn't trim as much. You know,
Well, and I need to trim. I need to do a little better job trimming more because I'm a little too conservative.
yeah,
Because with my mare, I did that, and she ended up breaking off her heel
yeah.
because it was too long.
So
And
the opposite, either
yeah, so
trim
now
too much or not enough.
now it's pulled
Yeah.
forward a little bit because she broke it off.
Okay.
And so we're dealing with that, but I have to keep an eye on that because well, you learn. I mean, I didn't know what it was going to look like in there, and I didn't have enough sole in the heel is what it was, and it was too long and it broke off. So
Yeah.
now that I know that, I got to keep watching it, and keep it.
Well, yeah, and that's what's for all of us. You know, we've all learned those kind of things.
Yeah.
You know, because we didn't really know what that was all going to entail, restoring those heels, and that at the time didn't know that the whole foot can be, you know, crammed into a smaller capsule. I mean, this is all stuff we've learned since learning about the heel buttress.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's really neat, really, all the stuff that we've discovered and learned. And I mean, all of us that have been here a while, you
Yeah.
know, all this stuff, we're all seeing the same thing, see patterns. We're seeing patterns, just like we
Yeah.
saw patterns in, you know, regular barefoot trimming too, that lots of horses were unsound. Oh,
Yeah.
excuse me, it'd be, how do they put it? He's sound on soft ground.
Yeah.
That's not
Just a little
sound.
tender-footed.
Yeah, or they got another term, footy. He's a little footy,
Yeah.
because they have to come up with this stuff because
Well,
there's such a
I
long
started wondering, why, when Pete Ramey, because I followed him for a while,
hmm
but after learning all this that I know now, I'm wondering, why do they have to boot these horses all the time?
all the time, 24/7.
And it's like, yeah, you got to carry these boots with you because after you trim, you got to put boots on them. I mean, that
hmm
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because it hasn't worked.
Yeah,
When we first started following it, it was still early, and so you were still into this transition thing. But then when the
yeah,
transition went on for 7 years, you know,
yeah.
and people are using boots, and very few people actually get to the point where it's total barefoot on any terrain. You
Well, I
know.
can say that mine are all on all terrain,
Oh,
and
good,
even Apache,
good.
with his problems, he's never been lame.
Yeah,
And
and
in
that's
fact, I've never even come. Yeah, and I'm really wondering how much soul that he's got,
mm-hmm.
because it's like a bottomless pit.
Yeah, yeah. He,
I can't find any. I almost want to make him tender to know where his foot is.
yeah. Where do you have any pictures of his feet?
No, they look
Okay,
the same. He looks like he has too much foot. He always looks that way to me,
okay.
and
Well,
especially too much heel.
yeah.
But his
Well,
heels are running forward now because they're too tall.
yeah. Well, yeah.
So
You probably
they're
just
starting to go forward.
need to take off a little layer there. But they definitely do
Yeah,
better with more heel than less, because less will get them to rotating.
yeah.
And then see, that's
Oh,
what kept. Okay,
He's
well,
got
good.
plenty.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad
And
he's
he's
doing
never
good.
found. Yeah, all three of them. Even if I got them all screwed up, they still haven't found her.
Well, hey,
They
then
haven't had any.
you're ahead of me, because
Yeah.
my pony and stuff. So,
Well, I think once they get to a certain point and they do it a lot, I
hmm
mean, it ends up.
chronic.
And then you really got to watch them.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was
You know.
just trimming those heels out. That's what did it.
Yeah.
You know. Um, and Valor, he got laminitis once too, right when I was doing trimming. Now, why he never did when I was doing this other thing, his feet held together. But uh, oh, I can't remember what I was going to say. But when I did the trimming from the top, clear back in 2007, he found her. See, he got,
Okay.
our what do you call it? Mechanical laminitis from
Okay.
rasping down too much of the hoof wall. Well, okay, it is now 6:44, so we're going to go ahead and start.
All right.
So what I want to do is I want to share some things about what I learned while I was mapping this week. Okay, because the mapping is based on the internal foot. I mean, why I didn't see this, it's been right in front of me the whole time, but I just wasn't seeing it. I was, but wasn't. And so it has to do with the sole on the internal foot and the mapping, and how when you map the exterior foot, I think you can tell how much heel you have left to go, and how much heel is trimmed out, and how small the hoof capsule is compared to how big it should be, and how much you have to grow in, and how much that capsule has to expand. From front to back, the capsule has to get bigger, and it has to add more hoof wall into the whole heel area, to where it finally releases the back of the foot and pushes the back of the foot up, which the back of the foot wants to come up anyway because it's cartilage. Now, cartilage and fat, it's being compressed under pressure. So it's always pulling. See? So it's always pulling, and it's being compressed under pressure. And so that foot has to expand, and that capsule has to grow and expand from front to back, so that the internal foot can set at its natural position again and be fully supported in the rear by heels and frog stay. So I'm just going to show you some, I was working on some markups, and then it dawned on me what I was looking at. You know, it's funny how you can just look at something all the time and not see what's right in front of your face. So, okay, so I'm going to open up some different pictures here. We'll open up this one. See, I should have saw it here, but I didn't. Let's see here. We'll open up that one. I just got to remember what I put it under. Let's see. LMU. Open this one. Open that one. And thought I had another one. Just a second here. And we'll experiment with a couple of feet, map them, see how they come out. And then if y'all got some pictures, sole pictures, we'll try this mapping, this new understanding I have of this way to, how to tell when you map what's going on. I'm just looking for some more feet we can mess with here. Oh, there we go. We'll do that one.
Linda, are you screen sharing?
Oh, no, sorry. Thank you.
I wondered why all I was seeing was this little kind of blue light in the middle.
Yeah. Da, 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 da. Thank you. See, I need all the help I can get. Okay, just a second. I'll find you. There you are. Sorry about that. People, speak up. Speak up. Okay, screen share. Okay, let's just share the whole.
And Linda, are you recording tonight?
Yes.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I need all the help I can get. That's for sure. Okay, now I'm screen sharing. Okay, so let me find this other deal. There is a foot here I'm looking for. Okay, oh, there you are. There we go. There's our model foot. Okay, can you see that? Hello?
Yep, it's there.
Okay. Okay, do you see, now this horse did not have his heels trimmed out. They were in the process of getting trimmed out. So therefore he still had, one thing that did happen was the back of the coronary band here was kind of pulled down, but he still had, his heels were still real definable and they weren't crushed. You know, so see, you can see his heel here, how it sticks up. Can you tell that? How he's got a heel that sticks up? Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay.
I think so.
Okay. Well, okay, okay, this is what I mean. Just a minute. When I say the heel sticks up, I'm going to try and get it so there's a good picture for you to look at. So you can look at the heel and how it fits in the capsule right there. See, it's got to have some heel buttress coming right down here. Well, let's see, annotate. Okay, the heel's right here. See how it has some definition? See how that's defined? It's not like that. See what I mean? Can somebody? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so the heel is defined, but when you trim the heels out, this area that is defined that goes like, see that? You know, how's your heel look? It looks like this, right? Isn't that a person's heel? Well, horse,
Pretty much.
got it. Yeah, course, he's got a heel too. You know, he's got a heel, goes like that. Only, well, he's got two, one on each side. And so when you look at the bottom, they're shaped like this. See, they've got depth in here. This would be the bar over here, the bar lamina. See, and of course the wall would come over here. Here would be the heel, where the heel buttress corium is, that grows the heel buttress, this part right here. And let me undo this here, just a second. I should have removed that. Hold on, where are we at? Okay, so let's do this again. His heel goes right here. See that? That's his heel. So look down here what happens. Just a minute. Let me change this a minute. Wait a second. Okay. Okay. I want you to be able to see both of these heels, what happens. See how when this is all pulled down, how it changes the form of the heel? See there? And it also makes the capsule shorter. And of course, sometimes it'll make the toe flare, but if somebody's really good, like I was, at keeping toes back, your toe won't flare. And then you get that, you can get that wild horse looking foot, you know, that's real steep walled, and then you look under there and it looks concave, and but it's just the heels trimmed out and the foot bends actually right here. Okay, so let's annotate that again, because I really want you to understand these heels, be able to see them in your mind. Let's do blue. Okay, so here's this horse's heel from the side, right there. See it? It's got definition. Okay, but once you trim the heels out, look here. It's like that. See what I'm saying? So consequently, this is cartilage. Now, just a minute here. Now, the coffin bone only goes to about here. So all this is cartilage. So cartilage can be crushed, right? And so when you trim the heels out of a horse, they can lose the definition. On Molly, she still had a little bit of definition, especially on the fronts, on one heel, but the other one was smooth like this with no definition. Another thing that happens, now this is Molly's foot right here that we used before we understood more about how these feet are bound. Her foot was still bound and I didn't realize it. Learned that later from Valor. And I'll show you on her foot how much heel she had yet to grow in that I did not realize. To unbind the cartilage here. So let me do this other color here. Okay, so here's your coronary band right here. Okay, now hers right here, it ain't very big because it was all pulled in and crushed down under, but she still had a little bit of heel buttress. But in reality, she should have had, okay, undo. She should have had heel buttress like this. And her, just a minute. I want to move that thing. There we go. And her cartilage up here should not have been rounded off like this. Okay. It should have gone clear back here. Like that. And then she would have had a heel buttress. Let's see. Oh, where am I at here? She would add a heel buttress, more like this. Really, they can have that much heel buttress. Her foot would have probably come back this way a little more too. Originally, that would have been more the foot she would have had. But she probably had some heel trimmed out. And ever since, because this has been going on, it isn't just barefoot trimmers that do this. This has been going on in farriery happenstance for hundreds of years, 1,000 years, however long they've been shoeing horses because they didn't know the foot. This gradual trimming out of the heel and the forming of a false foot that is compressing that inner foot. This is what most laminitis is caused by the way humans trim the foot and the mechanical situation that goes on this inner foot on that shell. You know, this shell here, you see the lamina here, and so the internal shell lamina is supposed to be in alignment with that lamina like that. See? You know, all the horn tubule, well, all the internal lamina and the horn tubules all the way down back to here. Well, of course, when you over trim this heel, you know, because they want a 30-degree hairline like that. Okay, that's what they've been taught, because what does that do? That gives you a ground parallel coffin bone, which I drew the coffin bone wrong there. I should have drawn it in the foot at a slight angle, because the foot sets flat, but the coffin bone sets in the foot at an angle, a positive palmar angle. So this is what we're trying to do, you know, in tactics. We're trying to get everything into alignment. Let me undo some of this here real quick. We don't want a 30-degree hairline. See, this is where the hairline is, and it can even be higher than that. See, it can even be higher than that, to where it can even be like this. See, and so internal lamina. See, this is what gives the capsule weight-bearing equilibrium with the inner foot. And so this is what we are trying to achieve. So the whole time that you're trimming your horse, this is what you're working towards. You're working towards getting this heel buttress to push everything up back here, the back of the foot opening up so that this heel here ain't like this. Well, you see how it's curved down. So it has to be pushed up this way, see? So as you are growing the capsule back, you're also got to pay attention to these horn tubules and what's going on, because they can be, of course, I repeat this over and over, but that's okay. They can be like, say, okay, here's this piece of wall right here, okay, and it's composed of many horn tubules going down, and then the internal lamina that attaches to that lamina of the foot right there. Okay, so this piece that should be here, just a minute, let me find something else. We'll do this arrow. This piece that should be here, that you have here, winds up here, and this part here winds up there. So this whole piece here is out of alignment. As soon as that, and why is that? Because you trim the heels, when the back goes down, it puts this whole thing at a different alignment. See, it puts the horn tubules at a different angle, and now they are being forced forward. And that is why you wind up with this section of hoof wall that should be here. See, this section of hoof wall should be right there. Instead, just a minute. Instead, it's right here. Okay, so the whole time you're trimming and pushing this up, you're going to want to be bringing these back as well, getting them to start to come back. Now, sometimes you got to get your heel growing, but you don't want to overdo not trimming the toe and stuff. You've still got to do that and work with it. See, so that's why I say we come in here, and that's why we take this foot, down close to the sole, and then relieve the outer hoof wall so that it will drop down and back like that. As the heels are growing, we're working with that side of those horn tubules, paying attention to them to where finally they're back in alignment there. Just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to undo that. Okay, so we always got to remember this is what we're working towards. Growing the back of this foot up, getting it off the ground so the frog stay will start developing. It helps push the back of the foot up. The back of the foot wants to pull up. And let's see. So if you have a hairline that's like that, okay, you see all the hoof wall in here that you have to replace, so it's going to be growing. That foot is under pressure and that foot is pulling up, so that if you weight the wall from however to however, like say back to here, then that weighted part of the wall is going to be pushing hoof wall up into here, and it's going to be slowly growing and adding capsule into the foot there and pushing all the back of this foot here up back here and making the capsule bigger. At the same time, you'll start seeing, and I think you've seen this, Marilyn, just a minute. A lot of times these horses have a toe that wants to flare out like that, and they have a dish in their foot. Well, what you'll notice is the dish starts going away to where the wall is straighter. See, because what happens is when the capsule is more forward like this, see, instead of like you see where my black lines are here, what happens is the leverage on the capsule is so that this foot is pressing down and back while the capsule wants to press forward and up. So it's wanting, the foot is wanting, the forces are wanting it to rotate continually. That's why you get this dish in the toe. This is the start of laminitis, something like that. When you start getting this separation, even if well, they have laminitis, because have you ever noticed on these horses with white feet, you can see the hemorrhaging through the hoof wall, but a lot of horses have darker feet, so you don't see it. See? So this lamina in here, the two laminas, the one of the hoof capsule and the one of the inner foot, they're constantly being pulled apart. And that is why what we're doing is we're bringing this hoof capsule back into alignment. We're bringing the lamina back into alignment and the exterior hoof capsule into alignment with the inner foot so that they have weight-bearing equilibrium. And also much other benefits, I mean, you cannot have sole without heel buttress. See, if my heels are clear down to here, see what happens is you actually cut them here and then you lower the foot, and what happens is it pulls this foot down to the ground like that. Let me undo here. Okay. So how do we know, how much heel we may have to restore yet? We can look at the back of the foot. That's one way. But how would we know from the sole? Well, I think I might have found a way. So anyway, so I originally came here just to remind you that the heel has definition. But if your heels have been trimmed out for a long time and crushed, you know, you might have a hard time getting this heel buttress to stand up like this. Do you understand? Okay, if your heels have been crushed like that, there's no guarantee that they're absolutely going to stand up straight. But I still think you can get these horn tubules here to kick the horn tubules back here, you know, up. See, kick up here. Can still kick them up and still help that heel. But I don't think that we should absolutely expect heels to look like what people tell us they ought to look like. You know, people want to kind of get, well, that horse has run forward heel. Well, yeah, he can't really help it. Look at what's happened to the cartilage in his heel that had the definition that was supposed to hold the heel up like this, right? So let's see here. Clear all drawings. All right. Okay, then.
Linda,
Yeah.
how do we get the sole back too when the foot is coming back? I get
Okay.
how, yeah, okay.
Okay, so right here, you have a piece of lamina that on the hoof capsule. Well, right in here, you see that white part there? And then right connected into there is another part. Just a minute. Undo. Let me get another color here. Let's do white, because the lamina of the capsule that's made out of hoof horn that fits in between each one of these leaves, lamina leaves here, it's called the insensitive lamina, while this is called the sensitive lamina. And these two interlock and weave together like sheets of paper. Okay, and so this, let's say this one right here, this piece of lamina and the wall that grows from this area right here, including, okay, this horn tubule that starts up here and grows. Let's do that in a different color. Just a minute here. See if we can kind of do this together. I don't know. Draw. Okay, where's the color? I lost my colors. There you are. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so that's, let's say this is the very internal lamina that interweaves and connects with, you see the angle of the lamina on the foot here? Lamina leaves. That's what we're going to call them from now on. Lamina leaves, because they're like leaves of paper. And the capsule has its leaves of paper, and the internal foot has the sensitive flesh that it interweaves and locks into. And so it starts right here, and for its whole lifetime, it must grow from here and then connect here. And just a minute here. Let me do that first. Hold on. Okay, so right here's the lamina. Now, you can't see it because it's connected into the foot. You understand what I mean? It would be right in here, like so, inside. All right, let me just, I'm going to get a different deal there. Okay, so let's, for example, one thin lamina leaf starts here. It connects into the lamina of the foot, because there's two sets. Remember, there's the internal lamina of the foot, on the foot, the flesh tissue, and then there's like the fingernail material that grows, that is like the lamina that connects into it. And that's what connects one of the things that connects the foot, the capsule, to the foot. So it starts growing right there, and it follows that lamina leaf down. Now right there is where it now connects with the sole. Okay, so it connects with the sole right there, and there's something there in the sole that emits or shoots, injects this glue-like yellow substance into these lamina leaves. Because see right here, they're leaving the lamina of the foot, right? So right here, they get this stuff injected to them that connects them to this sole right here. That's your white, what you call your white line, but we always say, oh, it's really yellow though. Okay, so this is the white line. And so then it connects with the sole tubule right here. And then this same lamina is supposed to connect with the sole tubule and hold on to it. And then they grow down to the ground together. Right there. Just a second here. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this here. So that's them together growing down. See? And then, so the sole. Now the sole, just a minute here. Let me find another deal. Okay, we're just going to use orange for sole. Okay, here's your sole. It also is composed of little tubules, like so. Okay, so it has to be at a certain angle as well. It grows from a little papillae here, and like that. And the wall supports the sole here. It works as a retaining and a support wall for the sole. And this is where this is at on this horse's foot for life. Now, something that helps you with this, okay, is your horn tubules on the exterior. See, look at the layers of the hoof wall, the different colors. Okay, the darkest pigmented has the most horn tubules. And the more you get in the wall, the less horn tubules, and it turns into the lamina leaves eventually that connect with the foot. And so, oh, just a minute. Okay, now at the same time this is going in, look, you have a thickness of wall here, right? Okay, let's do this here. Here's the outer, okay, and it goes in for, you know, a certain thickness. It gets softer as it goes in. I don't have gray. I'm upset. Okay, I don't have gray. Well, we'll use purple. Okay, so then you got this lighter colored wall here, but just a few less tubules, but there's still some pigmentation. Okay, then, let's see. Okay, well then it gets white on the very, very inside. I mean, you see it out here, right? You see it when you rasp that wall, you'll see that white layer right there, right? So you've got this, well, you've got that same thing going all the way around here in this wall. Okay, and then you've got, let's see, you've got your lamina that I got growing here, okay, that's connected to the foot, and right here is where it joins up to, it gets injected with that stuff from the sole that connects it to the sole right there. And so that would be what connects it, that yellow gluey stuff. This is, I'm so scientific, you know. I call it laminar serum. And then it also has a sole, piece of sole connected right there with it too. Okay, so you have this layer around the whole foot here, clear up to here anyway. Your heel buttress is pretty much solid wall. I noticed it looks kind of white sometimes, but it has some of that layer, but not, well, it's probably about the same. Look, if you go back here, okay, you're gonna have, let's see, back here, okay, you got lamina clear into the heel right here, see there? Again, what happens right here, okay, it connects with the sole. So we got to stop there. We're going to go over here, and it squirts that stuff into it to connect the lamina leaves of the hoof capsule to the sole. And then it joins the lamina leaf and the sole, which the lamina leaf is part of the hoof wall. It's the very innermost layer of the hoof wall. They call this stratums. You got the stratum externum, the stratum medium, the stratum internum, and the stratum lamellum. Lamellum. And so over here, right in the heel, you got something similar there. Then right down here, your heel connects with the sole. And this heel buttress has to grow past the heel here. And look at it, look how this horse here has uniform sole thickness, right? That's what you want. So this is why the capsule and the horn tubules. Okay, so on the exterior here, we're gonna make a side layer, okay? So you got the exterior. I'm gonna make them real close together. I don't wanna do that, wait a minute. Okay, so you got a horn tubule out here. It's growing right close to that. See what I mean? But you got this thickness here. And then you got the internal as well. Let's just say, you know, this is the thickness of the wall here, however it would work, but it looks that way all the way around. So in order to have sole, because, okay, look at right here. What do you see here? How far does that lamina go down? It does not go down to the end of the foot here, does it? You see this little lip here that comes on the outside of the foot? That is sole corium. The sole corium actually is convex here, and it actually grows from, just a minute here, let me get another color. It actually grows from here. All under the foot too, but it starts here on the external. So not just at the very bottom. And that's why I say, what does it do? It, let's see, what can I need some way to draw. I guess that's it. The sole corium grows like, makes a deal like that on the edge of this foot. This is your sole ridge, you know, but of course it's composed of tubules growing down like this. See, that's one mistake they make. They never looked at internal feet to realize that the sole corium grows a convex ridge of sole around the whole perimeter of the foot. And in width, it's as wide as a shoe. And so if you can get all this lined up to where you got frog and you got heel buttress and you're supporting the heel so that you can grow some sole here. Well, first let me explain this to you. Now, we talked before about how when they trim out the heels, like so, it pulls this hairline down to the ground like that. It does this, and it thins out the sole. Okay? So what happens then is this horn tubule here, instead of growing down in alignment, it's now put in an angle like this. See? And that's why you can have this chunk of hoof wall going like this instead of here. Okay, well, let me ask you now. See, because this all comes down to, you know, thinking about the way things connect together and common sense and stuff like that. Okay, just a minute, if this lamina and the middle of the wall and the horn tubule all in alignment here, and this is all supposed to grow down and connect with the sole right here, and then it picks up on a sole tubule, which it's connected to the sole right here, and then it supports the sole, and the sole tubule is connected to it, and it grows down to the ground. Okay, what happens to the sole when you disrupt that connection and change the angle? Just a minute here. Okay, here's, let's say I have something this long. Okay. Okay, now if I put it at a different angle, let's see. Okay, it would have to be that. Okay, let's say I put it at a different angle. Like that. What happens? See, look, here's my sole. Let's say your sole is supposed to be this thick, okay? Right here, this thick. That's a sole tubule growing down to the ground right there. That's just how your sole tubules grow. Now they're at a little bit of an angle, but not much, about like so. Okay, what if I change the angle on all those? See? What if I change the angle so that now it has to grow like this instead of like this? How much, you see how I have lessened the thickness? Because the wall will grow forever and stay alive. But the sole is only designed to grow so far, die, and exfoliate. See? And so if the horn tubule is supposed to be at that angle, but it's at that angle, and that's, you see what I'm saying? Because of the wall has carried it over there and disrupted this sole and laid all this, see this, it's gotta be all in alignment here in order for the sole to grow to its optimum thickness and for the sole ridge to develop. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
Yes, it is. I just can't figure out though when it's growing back, just
Yes, I put
based on the
everybody
bottom picture. I just
Are
can't.
you
I guess
still
I
there?
can. Yeah,
Hello?
yeah, we're here.
Crap. I guess everybody's gone. Hello?
No, we're not. We're here.
Oh, wait a minute. You know what happens?
Still here.
Sorry about that. You know what happens? My, oh man, I need to drink some water or something because my brain is not working. Okay. My volume goes off so that if you said anything, I can't hear it. So that's why I reached up here and turned it up. Sorry about that. Okay, so are you understanding what I'm saying there? Kinda?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I look at the bottom picture and I'm trying to think, as that toe comes back, how is that going to increase the sole thickness there?
Well, it isn't just the toe.
It's
When
not
that-
stretched out like pie dough.
When that one comes back like this,
Thanks, Marilyn.
okay, when that
You're
comes
welcome.
back like this, then this part here is going to come back like that. And then this piece of sole that was stretched out like this is going to come back like that. See? And then the wall can grow to its, however it's supposed to be. And the sole, because now the sole tubule is standing up at the correct angle, can grow to its optimum thickness.
Okay, light bulb, thank you.
Okay, and so anyway, the same going all the way back.
Yeah,
See, because like we were talking about, you got to work with these horn tubules, not just growing that heel, but you know, at some point, you're going to be wanting these horn tubules to go from this to that. See how that went into alignment with that lamina right there?
so and the horn tubules are just affected when we rasp off the outer wall.
Well, it makes it thinner, you know, but well, here's the thing, just a minute. Let me undo this for a second. Okay, all right, look at how thick that wall is. Not very thick. The hardest part of the wall is the blackest part. It gets softer as it goes in. So the outer wall retains the inner wall. Do you know what a retaining wall is?
Yes.
Okay. So how much weight is on the inside of that capsule? That thin capsule. Here, let's look at a capsule. Let's look at a couple of them. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait, no. Just a second. Let's look at a couple of capsules here. There's a capsule. Now that one looks thicker because of the way I've taken the picture. Okay, and that one looks a little thicker too because of the way I've taken the picture, but they're not thick, okay? They're not thick at all. Yeah, they're not, you know, so harder out here and it gets totally soft as you get into it. So you've got a 1,800 to 1,200 pound horse standing in there with his foot, because this is not the foot. This is the shoe that's on the foot. And so, and it's connected to the sensitive tissue of the foot. And so you've got a 1,200 horse standing there. Now, I don't know physics to know how much weight is condensed down into that capsule, but it's a lot, you know. And so you see the layers of the hoof wall. Hardest rock on the outside and gets softer as it goes in. So if you rasp down the hoof wall, you expose the softer layers and the capsule cannot contain the foot of the horse and it starts to bulge out. And that's why they keep rasping to make that foot look like it's not flared, when in reality, it's tearing up lamina and everything else. Do you understand that concept? Okay, you know how you take a koozie and it's soft and you put it on something harder that's a can?
Yeah, no, I get that about
Okay.
not rasping off the outer hoof wall.
Okay.
But we have to a little bit, just at the bottom where it meets the sole.
Yeah, that's different. That's different. Yeah, that's different. You know, the bottom edges and stuff like that. But for the most part, we don't, you know, when we're talking about dressing down the wall, they're going up to a half, even more sometimes, up the wall. And they would take, let's see, wonder where that picture was for a second. Okay, they would take, okay, let's say if this was like that, let me open that up in paint. Open with, there we go. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, just a second here. Okay. They want the wall to look like that. See? So if it's got a flare, then they're going to come over here and let me see if I can do this right. They want it to look like that, so they're going to come over and take that part off. What have they just exposed? See?
The softer part of the foot.
Yep.
I mean, of the wall.
That's right.
And they're getting to the white line and yellow line. So they're ruining the support.
They're ruining the support for the sole. And so the foot can't hold together. Well, it can if they put a shoe on it. You know, they've been putting shoes on it for so long, and that's been the Band-Aid for the damage, you know, because they didn't know what the true foot was. That was the problem. They did not know what the true foot was of the horse. So yeah, and so they expose that. Well, you know, it just keeps pushing out and pushing out. They keep rasping it down and rasping it down, you know, to where the whole wall is compromised. That's where you see these funny bulging looking walls and things like that. And there's no support for the sole. So, and not only is there no support for the sole, but they don't know that there is a convex sole ridge. So they're always coming in here, and this is for farriers anyway. They come in here and they pare out the sole like that to make it look concave. Because look at here, again, right up here, you're seeing, just a minute here, up here, what color? Right here is where the sole starts. The lamina leaves go from here to here. The wall connects from here to here and grows down and joins up with the sole that starts here. Okay, so let's look at picture of sole anatomy here. Just a second here. Oh well, I guess it doesn't wanna. Well, I'm not annotating. There we go. Okay, just a second here. I had that deal of sole anatomy, that chart of sole anatomy here somewhere.
So basically on the bottom foot too, it looks like they did pair the sole too a little bit.
Well, those feet, those are several feet put together. That's Frankenfoot.
Oh, I gotcha. Oh, I
Okay.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
That's Molly's inner foot and somebody else's outer foot. You know, bits and pieces we got off the web for demonstration purposes. Okay, here you go. Here's the true sole of the foot. Okay, you know how I showed you on that other foot that the sole corium lips up over the outer edge, right? Okay, so now you see here that the sole grows a convex ridge. That's why from the true apex to the end of the sole corium is about 1 1/4 inches. It's about 1 inch to the 3/4 to 1 inch to the into the coffin bone, which is behind the sole corium. Then it's about 1 1/4 inches to the sole corium. Well, then you've got to have sole here, right? Okay, you know how we go 1.5 inches up here and mark it? That's because the sole grows down and forward, right? So you have to allow for some sole to grow on this toe here. You don't want to just cut that toe right back to there. So this sole ridge grows. This is an old one. I might have done that wrong. I did do that wrong. Okay, I'm gonna have to change that. I'll show you what I did wrong. When did I make this? I made this like years ago, because that's one of the things I discovered was that the sole was not concave, it was concentric. It is convex here, and then it goes concave right under here. See that green line? Convex, it grows a convex ridge of sole. And so I'm seeing now where I kind of messed up on my demonstration thing over here. So let me work. Let's open that up in Paint. Just a minute. Open that up with Paint. See, you're always catching your mistakes and your understanding. Okay, so the sole ridge should have gone. Okay, this would be the convex sole corium. That's correct right there. But the way it grows is different. Let me show you here. Just a second here. Oh, that's too big. Let's go down here. Okay, that might work. This would be like this. See, the convex ridge of sole is on more towards the outside. This is the convex ridge of sole. Because the sole grows down and forward, right? So you can't just chop the toe up right here, or you would have no sole in the toe. So that's where that shape, but it grows from here. See, it grows up like that. So not that way, but you know, okay, look here. Okay, wait. Here's your sole, okay? And it grows, there's a sole tubule, it grows like that. Uh-oh, that ain't working, just a minute. There, grows like this. See? That's why we don't end the toe right there. We allow for some sole to grow. That's why we give it 1.5 inches. Is that understood?
Yeah, that was great.
Ah.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay.
Good.
See, I really feel it's very important for people to truly understand the soul and how they have totally screwed up their anatomy. So don't we want uniform sole thickness? But if you're told that the foot is just concave and you're not looking for this sole ridge, see, then you're not going to be growing the right kind of foot. And so ever since I learned about this, I was always looking for that sole ridge, and then I've seen it all over the place in these horses. And when the sole starts coming in, people are going, gee, look at all this sole in the toe. Well, that's because everything's coming back into alignment and supporting this sole right here so that it can grow at its proper angle and at its proper thickness, to its maximum thickness right here.
So the yellow that you're marking is what's growing. That's where the sole is growing from.
Yeah.
And that's the growth that we're looking for in the sole. And
Yeah.
then the wall goes on top of that and it joins.
Yeah, and supports it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Pretty
Linda?
good stuff.
Yeah.
This is Jolene.
Hi.
I have a question. Hello, everybody. If you don't see this, like on one horse of mine, I did see a nice sole ridge, but on my other horse, I don't. So would that mean that the foot is still run forward too much and it has a thinner sole?
Not necessarily, because what can happen is, let me draw this for you here.
Hoof chatting?
Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. Yeah, I'm hoof chatting.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fine.
Did you find dinner?
I did. Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. Okay. Okay, I'd talk to my husband for a minute. Okay, let's see. How to explain this? Gosh, the feet are so deceiving. Sometimes, let's see. Okay. Okay, so let's say here's the wall. And let's see. Here's the foot. Okay. And the sole, okay, now you would have a sole ridge. Now, even though it grows in sole tubules like this, okay, it forms a convex ridge like that. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay, but you note how it's hooked to the wall right here?
Yep.
Okay, if the wall grows, let's see how I can make this.
And
If the
takes
wall,
the sole with it.
it takes the sole with it like this, and then when you look at the foot, what you see is this.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's why we scribe a little bit here and define things, because if you define this area right in here, you'll find this soul ridge
Okay.
right here.
So
See
it's
that-
almost like I remember you saying before that the soul is kind of stuck to the
Yeah.
wall and it just kind of pulls it along.
Yeah. And
Okay.
and sometimes it doesn't. Some horses, you know, it never really sticks real hard there, but a lot of them it does.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to learn to define the whole toe around here, so that, because when that happens in the pillars too, then you wind up letting the pillars be too long and not the shape of the foot.
Yes. And that's happened to me.
Yeah, and me too. You know, and I'm just now learning how to scribe out around that toe and around those pillars to make that foot the shape it is, the sole of that foot, the sole of the capsule, the shape of the foot. You know, because otherwise you get a round foot or a square foot.
And I must admit, sometimes I get lazy and I don't want to do the scribe. I do the markup, but I don't do the scribing around to see the actual shape.
Yeah.
And that's when I miss the soul ridge.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Laziness will get the best of me.
Mhm. Well, it's a lot of work doing these feet.
Yes. Yes.
You know, especially for us, we're just owners. We're not professional trimmers. I'm not a professional trimmer. I'm just an owner that trimmed other horses.
Yeah.
You know, I guess I could be a professional if I had the energy and the strength, but I don't.
Yeah.
You know, these gals that trim 14 horses a day, nope,
So
I couldn't do it.
I can barely get one done in 2 days.
It takes me a half a day to do 2 feet.
Yep, me too.
Exactly. Yeah, me too.
Too.
And I think it's best that way because, like myself, if I try to rush 4 feet, you're cutting corners and you're missing something
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah, I know, and I just did that.
Okay,
You
then I
know,
don't feel bad.
no, I wanted to make this video, and I went out to do Sonny, this horse I do that he had actually got mechanical laminitis from not being trimmed for too long, you know. And this was months ago, and so he's good now, and his feet have all done good, but he lost some sole and things like that. And I had to boot him and different things, but he don't get rode. He's a big fat palomino in a pasture, and I just don't get out there like I should. So I went out there, and I've been doing him, and I went out there a couple days ago, and his feet had gotten huge, and so I wound up over trimming him a bit, you know.
Okay.
So see, that happens when you get in a hurry and you don't see something. That's why when I brought the pictures home and I looked at them, I went, oh man, you know, I thought his heels were finished and they weren't. And I, you know, wound up taking off some toe I shouldn't have taken off. So see, anybody can do that. Over trim or under trim, or my problem is I will over trim because, you know, I got this image in my head, right? And so I'm like, and so yeah, I can make them sore if I don't watch it.
Well, good. Thank you, Linda. Sorry for
Okay.
interrupting.
Well, I'm sorry, you know, I was like kicking myself in the butt. I just overdid it on that horse, you know, on one foot. I mean, I didn't, you know, kill him or nothing, you know, but I just really felt I just took too much. So no blood or anything, just so you know. But you can do that. You can also not do enough. I mean, that's the way it happens. So I should show you some pictures of his feet. And he's got tremendous feet. I mean, he's got a tremendous frog, but I just tried to take it further than I should have. Anyway, oh, Man. All right. So I got to take a break. I'm going to take a break for 15 minutes and then I'll be back. Okay. Because I'm not going to sit here just 2 hours and kill myself anymore. So I'm trying to think if I have any videos or anything like that. I can't think of any right offhand. So why don't y'all just take a break and we'll meet back here at 7:30. All right?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Linda.
At what time?
7:30.
7:30 my time. I don't know what that'd be your time. It'd be 15 minutes from now.
It's 7:45.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. How about 8?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock is fine.
Trying to go back in time. Okay.
Tea
Okay.
time.
8 o'clock. See
Okay.
ya. Bye.
Sounds good.
I don't know. Go call him and ask him. Okay. Oh, okay, I'm back. I hurried up and ate dinner. And it was
I
good.
fed the cat and gave him his insulin.
Oh, all
You inhaled
right.
your dinner.
How is your cat?
His leg is better, but he's not doing real good otherwise.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
What happened to his leg?
He was trying to jump up onto the cart we have in the bathroom. I had extra towels on there, and he hops up there to look out the window.
Oh,
And I think he tried to get up there and he missed and he fell.
oh.
He's done that a couple of times trying to jump up onto the vanity to drink water out of the faucet. So I'm rather suspect that's what happened and hurt his knee. But
Okay.
he's much better walking right now, but his blood sugars are still high and losing muscle mass and
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's just not good.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. How old is he again?
He's only 11.
Well, hey, that's not very old at all.
That's not old for a calf.
No.
He should have lots of years left, and I don't give him a whole lot of time. I just don't know.
Yeah, I got a cat out here. It's 18.
Our first cat was 17.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
See, I had no idea they'd live that long. You know.
Yeah, they can. If they stay healthy, they can live into their 20s.
Well, we've taken good care of this cat.
We're
I
taking
guess
good
that's
care
why
of
she's
her,
living
too.
so long. You know, when I lived on a ranch and stuff, cats disappeared all the time. So I never seen any get really old, you know.
Well, out on a ranch, you're going to have all kinds of
Coyotes.
eagles and who knows what.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so now I should have turned off that record. Now it's gonna have a big 15-minute stretch in it. Oh well, people can take a break. Okay, so now I want to show you about that mapping. So let me go over here. And I'll just, okay, so you know that the mapping is based on the lines, the boundaries of the internal foot. It just stands to reason, doesn't it? That if your bars, just a minute, let me move this somewhere down there, and let me open this with paint. Okay, oh, wait a minute. Select all, resize. Well, that didn't work. I don't know what happened there. Hold on. Resize, 20. Okay, can you see that good?
Yep.
All right. So here's the internal foot. You got your bar corium that grows the bar. You got your heel corium that grows the heel buttress. You got your frog corium that grows the frog, and your sole corium that grows the sole. So it doesn't stand to reason that the hoof capsule should pretty closely align with the different parts with where they're grown from on the internal foot. You know, so and so what I've got here, you know, I mean, Molly was close, but now I know, you know, after I started looking at her foot and after I realized that her foot wasn't fully restored, the heels were still forward some. Well, you'll see when I do this other deal here. We'll come back to this hoof capsule so you can see how much of the foot was still, hoof capsule was not restored yet to the foot. Okay, so let's look at another picture. I think this is the one I was doing where I started dawning on me what I needed to look at. Let's open this one with paint too, just in case we want to do something to it. Okay, so the mapping is all based on general measurements of your average horse's internal foot. And pretty good from the middle forward. But something dawned on me about the end. Now this is a foot right here that somebody had here last week that I did a markup on. And I wanted to explain to her about sole and different things. So I got this foot here, which is this one here to use as an example. Okay. And that's when I seen how basically, well, I don't know if that's exactly right. I don't know if I got this part right exactly here. This line here, because I didn't really do it on this one. But anyway, you should have 3 sections of sole that are relatively the same. See what I'm saying? Then this is just on the sole of the foot. So if her heels were restored, then there would be sole clear back to here, and the heel would be clear back to here. Watch this, just a minute. Okay, let me undo this. All right, trying to think how to explain that. Let's get a couple of feet together, and I'll do it with this foot here, and I'll find another foot to do it with. A second here. Open with paint. Okay, so just a second here. Do that, and we're gonna take it. Bring this over here. Okay, so there is no hoof capsule, obviously, on this foot. But where the sole goes, which is, oh, just a minute here. The sole would go here. Well, and actually it'd be wider. Just a minute. Let me do something here. See how this works. Aha. Does that show up better?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So the sole, just a second here. Okay, got that. Yes. Let's do kind of white. Okay, now remember that the sole lips up over the foot and it also grows down and forward. Okay, so it's going to really be on the foot more like that. You see what I'm saying? Except for right there, it don't. Not sure how it goes, Eric. Eh, might have been a little too close there. Out here. Okay, so there's your sole. Now, when we map, just a second here. We draw a line down the center. And then from the true apex of the frog, which would be right about so, we draw a line across there. And then we measure, well, I don't know if that's right. Just a minute. This ain't gonna be exact, okay? But what I'm trying to show you is the sole has to have 3 closely related equal parts. You got these 2 parts here. Okay, now if we were to take a different color, let's just take red, and let's just measure this about like so. Okay. Wait a minute. Maybe I'll you know, I haven't worked on it a lot yet. Okay, so that's how long that is. Let's take another one, different color, same length, basically. Let's go down to here. Okay, and let's draw another blue line. About like so. Okay, and then let's right across the seed of the corn. Here we're going to draw another line. Anyway, they're going to be close to being the same. Let's see. So we got that one, and let's see. Take it again. See how close they are? So that you can tell whether you have sole, where your foot is at. Because here's what happens. When the heels are trimmed out, the heels are pulled forward in a smaller capsule. So you wind up having what you have over here. Well, let's look at Molly's foot. Just a second here. Right here. Here's the bottom of her foot. Just a second here. Let me get that. Copy. We're going to go back over this other paint. Right here. And we're going to reduce this to be smaller. Size. Probably about 80. Okay. Okay, so that's still not quite small enough. Just a second. Well, anyway, what I want to show you here is I want you to look at the amount of heel or of sole here, the amount of sole here, and then the amount of sole here. And then I'll show you a picture of her foot. Just a second. Let's map this foot. Because remember, the foot gets smaller from the rear. The heels move forward, right? So if they move forward, they're going to cover over this part of the sole. Do you see what I'm saying? They crush the heels and everything moves forward. So, just a second here. Let me think how I'm going to do this. Now, I'm just explaining it for the first time. So I'm not real good at it.
Well, and Linda, wouldn't that indicate how far back your heels have to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, how much hoof capsule has yet to come in and how much further back your heels have to come in and go. See, so you have that, and we're gonna have this right here. Okay, just a second here. So take the red. Nope, it's supposed to be red. Do it like this other one. Now it's not gonna be exact, but got that one. Okay, now we're gonna take the same length in green. See how that's right there? Real close. Okay, now we're gonna take red again, same length. I haven't actually done this foot exactly. Or well, I guess maybe I did do it. Yeah, okay. Okay, now, okay, see where the sole and the heel, okay, here's where the other line was supposed to be. Okay, now here's where the sole and the heels is, right there. But here's where the heels are supposed to be, and so the sole and the heel ultimately, if the foot was totally restored, would come clear back to here. Do you see what I'm saying?
Wow.
I mean, like I say, it's just been in front of my face the whole time. And I've been seeing this, you know, but it just wasn't dawning on me what was going on here. So, you know, I did some things like this, like, let me do this. Okay, so let's say I take the heel. See, I can fit that right on there. Isn't that interesting? How that heel fits on that foot? Okay, but what's going on? This heel is actually clear up here like that, covering up part of the sole and bending the foot. And so this corium too is also pulled forward with it. See? And so as you turn the heels out, they go like this and scrunch up over the sole and the heel, the seat of the corn. As you're regrowing them, they come back like this, to where eventually, when you're all done, you should have about an equal amount, let me do this, copy, equal amount of sole here, here, and here. So that's what I learned. I think that's right. What do you think?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's what a great visual too.
You know, so from now on, when we're mapping the foot, we also map the back, and it tells us, see, what's going on. Now, yeah, tells us about how close we are. And so as we're also mapping other people's feet for them and doing markups and stuff, we can kind of tell. And here's the thing, it agreed exactly with what I saw from the side going on with Molly's foot. So I'll see if I can find a side view.
Does it matter the size of the horse?
No.
So in every measurement is 1.5 inches.
Well, not necessarily. It might be a little bit less on a little smaller horse, but this is a pretty general,
Okay.
you know, so maybe a little bigger for great big horses and a little smaller, you know. See, I've only done the average size horse. So, but one thing I know is that you can get, so you see the symmetry of the anatomy, and you can tell by that way rather than any measurements at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. It just blows my mind. So the first measurement is at, say, approximately 1.5 inches, and that is 2. And then the second measurement is 1.5 inches back, and then the next, and that measurement should line up with the end of the bars eventually too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then the last measurement is where the sole meets the wall in the heel.
Yeah, it would be where your sole should be. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
So
where
it's
the what I call the sole platform of the heel.
Gotcha.
The heel platform should be.
And that's where the bars would end, the next one. And then the one in the toe then should be where the sole meets the wall too, approximately. Yeah. Gotcha. All right.
So
Linda, I have a question. You know how we're always ending the bars approximately on the middle of the frog?
Yeah.
Well, when you have it mapped here on the white sole, and you say it grows from the darkest blue line all the way to the tip of the apex. That the bar grows all that way down? So shouldn't we trim it that far down, or am I looking at it wrong?
I'm not sure what you mean.
On
I got lost.
on that diagram that you have your cursor on,
Mm-hmm.
where does the bars grow from? Which line?
Where do they grow from?
Yes.
Okay, let's look over here at this foot. They
Okay.
grow from, let me get some, okay, what color should we use? Let's use green. They grow
She's
from down, right down here is the, well, that was wrong. Just a minute. Let me do this smaller. Okay, right down here is the barcorium at the bottom of the collateral groove.
Yep.
Right there. And so they grow from there up like that. Well,
Okay.
that wasn't
And
really
how far towards the apex do they go when they're growing?
they should only be growing like right to there.
Okay, so they're not growing. They don't start at the apex.
That's really bad. Just a minute. No,
Okay.
no, they end right about here. Right here is the back of the coffin bone, right here. Okay?
Okay.
They
Yep.
connect into the back of the coffin bone because they support the heel buttress, which is right here.
Okay. Perfect.
See the heel
you-
buttress.
And you were
comes-
doing a 1 3/4 measurement on that from when you do the
Well,
from the apex back?
okay, on that one video, I don't know why I just felt like doing 1 3/4.
Okay.
But it was doing that made me see this. But actually, I just do 1 1/2. But see,
Okay.
there's something interesting going on that I found out a long time ago about where the center of the foot is and where the center of the widest part of the foot and the widest part of the capsule. And so at 1 3/4, you have the widest part of the foot, I think. But at the 1 1/2, you have the widest part of the capsule. Because why is that? Because, okay, here's the foot. Okay, and then here's the capsule, right? So the wall, let's say this is, okay, so this is the foot right here. And the wall, let's see, the widest part of the foot is right about here. So the wall grows down, and let's say this is the widest part of the internal foot, right?
Yep.
But it grows down and forward, right? So the widest part of the capsule is right here. But the widest part of the internal foot is right here. See what I'm saying?
yes.
Mhm.
And so for some reason, that's the way these lines line up. Let's see. And I had forgotten about that other line. The widest part of the internal foot would be right about there. Well, no, the widest part of the internal foot is right here.
Yeah.
Okay, but on the capsule, it's going to be at 1 1/2. There's still this. It's still the same technically, but this line that a person would draw back here would actually be where that is. See, are you? It's kind of confusing. Okay, this line here is the widest part of the capsule. If you were to follow it up, okay, over here if you were to go up that way, okay, this is the widest part of the capsule, right here. Okay, now, if you were to follow it up, you would find the widest part of the foot, but on the capsule, it would be right here. If that makes any sense. I don't know. Let's drop that because I know what I'm trying to explain, but I don't know how to explain it or why it's important, but I know that it is. I think it is the difference between them farriers and their argument over some dot somewhere. Okay, that's all I know. So this is the widest part of the foot, and this is the widest part of the capsule. But if I wanted to know where the widest part of the foot was, it would be down further. Well, let's see if I can explain this again. Just a second.
Linda, would the widest part of the foot and the bars that come almost to the widest part of the foot, would that act almost like the balancing beam, so to speak?
It could be, yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, but just,
Now that I've confused myself.
but no, it's just the way that you're explaining that makes sense to me.
Okay, let's see. Let me make this bigger. Let's see. Okay, keep going. Of course, this ain't gonna be exactly right. Anyway. See, almost got it right on to where, but remember that when the heels are pulled forward like that, they're attached to all this, right? So they're scrunching it up with it. So this foot is not scrunched up really. Okay, the foot on Molly in that capsule would be scrunched up. This foot was off another horse. So anyway, just experimenting around here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Drawn on feet. Drive you crazy. Okay, well anyway, that means something. I just don't know what it means yet. And I think you're talking about what you said about balancing and stuff. It has something to do with that, but I don't quite understand. I do know that if I was to follow up, never mind. Let's just not go there. Okay, but anyway, you do see what I mean about how you can tell how much of your heels are trimmed out. Let's look at this other horse. I don't want to speculate here. Just a minute here. Okay. This is Valor's foot. Let's map it. Well, actually, I have one of his foot mapped. Let's see where it winds up. I haven't done this to that foot. Here it is. Okay, well, see, you can see that he's still got a lot of heel to come in there by this formula, right? And if you're to look at his foot from the side, you'd be able to tell that too. Let's turn this around. Okay, here's where I was doing those two lines, remembering those two lines. Okay, so let's just open that with paint. Let's see. Let me do something else here. Let's save. Let's do this other foot that's clearer. Where did it go? I must have closed it out or something. Well, I'll show you this foot first. Just a second. Okay, so this is a markup I did for somebody where I took the heel, cut it out, and actually moved it back to show where the sole in her heel actually should be. So this is a markup you can do on your own horse, you know, in paint. And the way you cut these heels out is, see, I just come up here, got free form selection, and then just picked out, this is, just a minute. Just follow it around like that. Cut some of this heel. You want to get clear down into the bar. Then around over here like so. Okay, so see, I took that heel off. See how it fits right on that foot? That's where it should be. But what's going on with this horse is it's pulled that heel in clear up to there and is covering over the actual true sole of the heel. So you can do that. It's kind of fun to make Frankenfeet because what you find is all the parts are interchangeable. You know, on these feet, they're all interchangeable. That's how much the same horse's feet are. I mean, really, when you think about it, they're not that complicated. They ain't got that many parts. They're not as complicated as your feet, you know. But I thought, okay, and when you're using this paint, you come up here and you go transparent select. See how there's white on that? So if I was to take this, see how it's not coming white and stuff? Okay, what you do is you come up here and you go transparent selection right there. See how that got rid of that? So you can move it around and experiment there a little. So that's where the true heel would be right there. See? Watch this here. Just a second here. We'll do freeform selection. We're going to come up in here, go clear down in the collateral groove. Go down here, up there. We want to get the whole heel. Come around the wall. We're just getting the wall and the bar. There we go. See there? There's your heel. That's the hoof capsule heel. And it fits on, it grows from and fits to the back of your horse's heel right there. See that? Right there. But what has happened here to this horse? Okay, when the heels are trimmed out, this is what starts happening. This is more, this is what's happened. What? I must have not, that's the wrong heel. That's that heel. Let me take this again. So come down in here, hit the bar, clear down into the collateral groove, come around, and just trace that heel out the wall of the heel. See, I'm going right up to where the mapping line is there. We're going to follow that mapping line there, and then I'm going to copy it so I don't lose it, because I hate to keep tracing them things out. Now watch this heel. It's just going to come right over here. It's going to fit right on this horse here. See, that's pretty cool, huh? And so again, just another example that shows you what happens to these heels. See, and so when we're restoring this sole, this is the end game right here, restoring the whole back of this foot. And of course, then you're going to have 2 inches of thick frog stay and big old thick nice frog, and you know, and these solid heel buttresses growing from the back of this foot and supporting that heel and the sole in that heel. And remember, we started out with the definition of that heel. So what happens then when the heels are pulled up like this over that heel? See, that crushes that heel. So as we Restore. Okay, now here's something to think about. Okay, look back when my heel is back here. Okay. Where is my bar line? Just a second here. Where's my bar line? Let's do the bar line. Okay, let's say the bar line right here. Okay, so I trim it right here. Okay, but that's not, or yeah, okay, so that's nice and straight. You see that? My bar line would be straight. What happens as your heel moves up? I don't know if it'll do it with this. Let's see. Okay, now first of all, you got to follow the wall around. See how they get wider? See how that would deceive people? They think they're getting good heels because their heels are getting wider, but it has to follow the foot. Okay, but it won't get wider if it's totally stripped out the frog stay and the heels contract, then you have a different situation. Okay, but in a lot of these cases, these heels kind of seem to get wider, but the hoof capsule's getting shorter like that. Okay, now let's look at the bar line if the heel was there. This is what I've been trying to explain why we have to cut the bars a little straighter and a little lower than the heel where it's at. Okay, because, okay, well, let me use a different color. I'll use red. Okay, now here, let's put the original bar line in there. That was the original bar line. Okay, and that goes with the foot. Remember the foot I showed you where it had the lines on it? What'd I do? Close it out? Nope. This one. See? You know, why do we cut this way? Because ultimately, you know, this is where your bar would be right here. Okay, but when your heels clear up here, what happens? Let's see. Okay, so let's draw the bar line where it's at in the trimmed out. Oh, darn you. Just a minute. It's messing with me. Green. Okay, we're going to put, that's where the bar should have been. But once the heel is trimmed out, that's where it is now. See the difference? And so if you let that bar stay like that, you're trimming to a distorted bar. As long as you keep trimming to a distorted bar, your bar is never going to release and let your heel move back. So that is why we start doing this. Instead of trimming right to the, you know, see how the heel is, the bar is level with the heel there? Instead of doing that, we start, I'll use blue.
Linda, I have a question about these bars. It's just coming to me. Since the heel has moved, is moved forward, it looks to me like the bar has shoved forward. And
yeah,
that's
it has.
Yeah, and that's why it ends up, it looks like it's at the tip of the apex of the frog.
Yep, yep.
So if we bring the heels back, the bar obviously pulls back.
Yep.
And puts all the soft tissues back up where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, yeah, it's all working this together, right?
Okay.
So that's why when we come in to do the bars, instead of just trimming them like they are, and you can't really if you took it down to here, you'd have to remove the whole bar. You see that?
Yes. So
instead, you just start by doing this. See?
Taking it down to sole level or a pinch below.
Well, like sole level, but see where the heel buttress is right here, the wall of the heel buttress. Here, let me cut it out like it would be. Okay, so I'm going to take that bar down. I don't know how good. See there?
Yep.
How I've got just a little tight. You don't want a big one. You don't want to rip your heel off or nothing. But you're allowing this wall to be long on purpose so that it will shove growth back up into the capsule. And as it does so, see, like, okay, there's the bar there. As it grow, okay, then it'll go back to here. All right. Then you come in again and you cut your bar a little lower and a little straighter. Let's see. We'll go here now. Okay. And we'll take it out a little lower than our heel. Right there. Okay. Then we allow the foot to grow and adjust and all the stuff it does. Just a minute. And that heel comes back a little more. Let's see, where am I at? Oh, right there. See there?
Yep.
See how it's just dit, 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 dit. And then pretty soon it gets so that when we draw our lines, they're more like this. See, which is more like this. See how it is on the real foot?
Yep.
You know, you don't have a bar that's going clear over like this. See, that's why we have to make sure we're trimming the frog in alignment, getting the frog out of the collateral grooves. You have to get the frog off the heel and the periopal skin off the heel so that the foot can expand. It can grow back. So,
Gotcha.
so
Linda,
anyway, yeah.
you know the foot you in the middle there where you restored the heel? Can you show me one more time and us how to do that? Because that's my assignment for tomorrow. I want to put that heel on my markup, and I don't.
This one here,
The one in the middle.
this one in the middle, how I did that.
Yeah, that little. Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, I'll show you how I did that. I just went in here and you get the freeform selection, and then you want to cut it out about where the bar is right there,
Yeah.
and down the collateral groove, and then out the edge, and you just want to trace the wall out
Okay.
up there to your mapping line.
Okay.
Okay, you don't take the sole, you're going to take the bar line
All right.
right there. See there?
Yep.
Okay, and then what I did was I moved it back. Well, okay, what I did was, just a minute, copy, just a second. What I did first was I mapped the foot with the lines. Oh gosh. Okay, I mapped the foot with the lines. That's probably back a little more than what she has there, maybe a little about like so. Then I wanted to know about what, you know,
Oh, right.
the distance was there, and so I went there and stopped. Now look, that's pretty, see there? I got right on her mapping. Okay, then you just come up here and you take that same measurement, and this time you go back here. Okay, so you know that your sole is supposed, your sole in the, the sole in the heel should be right clear back to there.
Right.
With the same thickness of heel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I'm going to print that heel out like that, and I'm going to move it back to there.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Probably, you know, it's probably not going to be straight back like that because it's going to follow the line of the foot. So probably about there.
Okay.
Okay. And then, what did I do? Okay. I might have removed that one there, but here's what you can do. You just come up here and get, different color.
Okay.
Okay. And, I'm going to get it fairly wide. And I'm just going to go like this.
Gotcha. Okay. That's our assignment for tomorrow.
Okay. There you go. There's your heel restored,
Beautiful.
you know, where the heel should be. Doesn't that make sense though?
Yeah.
You know, see, this is great because now we can kind of tell kind of where we're at, you know,
Yeah, this is amazing. This
you
is
know.
great.
So
One more
anyway,
question, please.
okay, yeah.
So if I have my bar, that is, going back to that middle picture again,
Mm-hmm.
and my bar is fairly straight,
Mm-hmm.
just that little curve right by the heel. And I'm going to try to, I'm going to take that bar down. Do I have to take it down all the way to the, as far as it goes towards the apex? Or can I just level it from like where that blue line goes to the green line?
You mean from
Yeah, right where you had that little dot.
right here?
Yeah,
Just from here. You just want to do the bar. You want to learn to follow the bar wall. If your bar wall's clear up here, well, sometimes the sole can look exactly like the bar wall. No kidding.
yeah.
There is
I don't have to touch that area there.
well, you need to start. Look at the foot here, how smooth it is.
Mm-hmm.
See, eventually you want to get this so it's smooth and not all lumps and bumps.
Okay.
And because what that is that's just sole that has gotten high and long, and then it creates a callus or in the sole, a hard
Right.
spot. But you don't see that in the foot here, right?
No, I don't see those bumps that much. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're not there. And if you look at a foot where the capsule's been taken off that had a lot of that,
Yeah.
if you see a lot of damage under here. Just
All
like
right.
if you had a lump in your sock, in your shoe. You ever notice that? And what would that turn into? That would turn into a hard callus-like thing. You know,
Okay.
that's why the lumps and the bumps come back. I don't think they're necessarily supposed to be there. You know, the bottom of the foot should look like what my horse's feet look like,
Yeah, they
basically.
look all smooth.
All smooth and cleared up, you know. And now they weren't always like that because I didn't always clean the sole out like that, you know, and keep the sole exfoliated. So anyway.
Nice. That was really good.
Oh, well, thank you. So does anybody have anything else they want to say or foot they would like me to look at?
Can you post your PayPal?
Yeah, it's just thehappyhoof@yahoo.com.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
So does anybody have anything they'd like to share about their horse or tell us anything about their horse, or you having some problems that you can't, you know, get through, or is there anybody that would like to share anything about anything? Please feel free.
If nobody else has any questions,
Okay.
you've seen the pictures of Dolly's fronts. They've gotten horribly out of shape.
Mm-hmm.
And the heels are folded over on both feet, and I just don't know how much to take them down, take them back. Do I reset her heels, take them all off? Right now, I just don't know. And her lateral, her left foot, the heels are actually starting to crack where they've been folded over. And
Oh, okay.
I need to do something, but I
It's
don't
like,
know.
what do I do? Okay. Okay, well, let's take a
spent
look at it.
hours on that one.
Oh, you know, it's just like I'm, you know, kind of going through some similar things with Valor's feet in a way, because I didn't take the toe off like I usually always do when the foot shifts 1/4 of an inch. And I'm sorry I didn't do that now. Let's see. Where am I at? I'm lost.
And I've been working on her right front, getting the bound side a little unbound and keeping the other side going. So the left foot really got neglected, and it's suffering badly.
Okay. Let me get all these pictures closed so I can find out where I'm at. I have no idea where I'm at. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's go to Facebook. And mentor. And there's Riza's video.
It's not too far down,
Okay,
I hope.
here we are.
There it is.
Okay. Okay, well, mine have looked that way as well before. So do what I did in the video. Okay, so did you measure these heels?
I did.
Okay.
The measurements are up there on the side.
Okay, well, what I want you to do is I just want to take that protractor, put it up here against the heel, see where you come out, and draw a line right here. And then you're to take off this wall all the way down to there. You're to get this wall off the ground. Okay, not off the ground, but from being higher than the sole. You need to take this down from being higher than the sole. She's got sole in her heels here. See where your line came from your bars? That's where you need to take the heels down to, about there. I don't know what that is. That's probably 1 3/4 inches, 1.5 inches, somewhere around there.
Yeah, the 1 3/4 right up about to just above your cursor there is where you can see the crack.
Okay.
A little higher, right
Yeah,
there.
you need to take that down. That's plumb fine. She'll be plumb fine. And you need to level down this to the wall, but you need to do something with this toe too. See how high
Right.
the walls is there?
Right.
Okay, see right here where your bar line, if it would have went straight, would have come right about here.
Right.
Okay? So you need to take all this down. You rasp to the side, remember? To the side this way and to the side that way.
Right.
And it looks like both the heels are about the same now. It doesn't look like either one is real run forward. And so you take them down to the same level. See, you got sole in there. See, you'll do just fine. You can take those heels. They don't have to be 2 inches. Okay? 1 3/4 is good. And you don't want any more wall than just, 2/8 of an inch, 2 to 3/8 of an inch above right in here. Anyway, but another place where you really have to,
You can see on the far side there how it's been rolled over.
Yep, yeah,
Right there.
just take that off right in there.
Okay.
Take all that off.
Okay.
And then, but you're gonna have to deal with this toe
Exactly.
too, because the sole is sticking to the toe. And so, and that's why you got this number going out here. See, you're gonna
Right.
have to start defining your toe and your pillars by scribing out around the white line.
Yeah, I did that the other day when it was finally, I can get her foot soaked.
This is looking good here. To have that nice gap there, that
Yep.
means some frog steak can grow in. Look at those heels, they look great.
Except they're all folded over.
Yeah, and this one's longer. So medial, lateral, this one is higher on this side. Well, maybe not, wait. Okay, this is something I learned too. If you don't cut the periopal the same on both sides, the one you cut more of can make the heel look higher.
Right.
Which it might be, it looks a little pushed up there, but I don't know. Okay, so you are going to have to come in and take at least this much of this toe out here. See, toes aren't pointed. Okay.
Right.
Just a minute. And see, and guess what's going to happen here? You're going to wind up opening a whole bunch of this sole in this heel, just like what we were looking at. See?
Is that going to make a difference now? That's the one that's bound on the medial.
Bound on the medial?
Yeah. So is that going to cause a problem?
No, it's not going to cause any problems. You got to keep these feet moving.
Okay.
See? Okay, you got to come back on that toe, just like I do in that video. Straight back, and you know how I blended the sides here. You know, and take this down to the level of the sole. I'm not going to say she wouldn't be tender for a few days or whatever, you know, but she's tender now, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
She's tender on rough footing in the pasture and stuff. She's fine.
yeah. In a few days, she'll be fine. But you've got to take this toe back the way I show.
Okay, so
and then blend in the sides the way I show. First of all, taking this all down to the level of the sole is going to take all those horn tubules back anyway. And second of all, then if you blend in this side a little, okay, so that the only part of the wall on the ground is the whitest white part of the wall there. Like what I do in the video. Watch the video again.
okay.
Okay, but you're going to have to trim this foot like that. You're going to have to trim these bars over like that. You're going to have to take this heel down, open this up, reset these heels, okay, to the bar lines. And of course you measure them too, you know. But what I've been finding out is that my measurements on my heels come out exactly to where the bar line is. You know,
Okay.
I've been finding that when I lay that protractor up against these and I draw that line, that half the time that's exactly where I measure the heel to.
Okay.
Not every time, but you know, but see that funky little point there in the toe?
Uh-huh.
That should not be like that. Let me annotate here. Okay, now she hasn't got a problem with her pillars there, but her toe is more like that. Okay, you need to take that knife up in there and take that out of there.
Okay.
And then rest the wall down level. And then, you know, then bring your toe back the way I do. You know, I just start, because I'm going to make it so that toe rolls. Well, look what happens here when we do that. Okay, so you scribe out this little bit of sole. There's not very much there, but it's going to make a whole difference, because then when you come straight across that toe, because your white line, once you scribe that out, you're going to see it right there.
Okay, so white line right now is up closer to the toe, to
Yeah.
the front.
It's going to come back a little, because
Okay.
toes are not shaped like that.
Right.
And this foot has grown enough that the whole thing is ready to shift. And I wouldn't even be surprised if that apex is going to move
Okay.
back. See, that wouldn't surprise me either.
Okay.
So you see how if I came in with my rasp straight across there, here, let's do this. Just a second. Let me close this. Let's put this in paint. See, your frog is looking very good.
Thanks. It's one thing that looks good.
Yeah, the whole foot. See, I don't look at the feet that way anymore. You have many good things going on here. Just need a trim.
Okay.
Let's see.
And then I'm wondering too, the hairline is pushed up in the quarters. I'm wondering if I need to scoop or leave it flat for weight. I just don't know what to do with the quarters
Yeah.
right now either.
Well, first do your trim and then decide, you know.
How do I decide?
Well, I don't know.
Show me the sole. Let's work on the sole first and then we'll
Yeah,
think
let's
about
do this where we go there. Okay. Okay, so if we came up here, let's go ahead and we're gonna map our foot. You already got it mapped. We're gonna map it again. We're gonna map it again so we can tell what's going on with the heels. Okay, that's not thick enough. Let's do thicker. There we go. Okay, so we know that that point in that toe is not right. So I'm going to bring that back about to there. See
Okay.
there?
It looks better.
Yeah. So right about to there. Okay, and then of course, here's this right here. We're not quite on the apex, so that'd be right about here. Okay. Okay, so, well, yeah, well, that makes sense now. Look at there. Wait a minute. See, we brought the toe back a little to where it's supposed to be, and you can tell that the true apex is more about there than right there. See, you're kind of ahead of it.
Yeah, I missed the line on that one.
Okay, so that, see, that gives us safety. And so let me come up here with this red. I'm going to measure it. Okay, we're going to go right. Oh, look right there, right about to your line there, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. And again, just a little bit beyond, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because your mapping is just a little bit off. Okay, so then let's make a line right here. Okay, now you see how much sole in the heel is going to open up when you take those heels down and take that wall down from it crushing over the.
Yeah, there's at least a 1/4 inch underneath that folded over part.
Yeah, that's good. So yeah, you need to take that all the way down to here. Here's where you're going to take your heels down to. So that's going to open that up. Okay, so if
The
you
line, that
Huh?
line that I have on the side of her heel is where the bottom of the folded over part is.
okay, yeah, see, you're going to be taking all that off. So that'll open up, and that's going to open up the sole here too.
Okay.
See what I mean? And then you're going to remap that bar so that it's more like this.
Okay.
See? So you're asymmetrical on this side, so but it's coming in really nicely. The sole is looking pretty uniform, you know. So all right, so you're gonna scribe that toe out, and then you're going to rasp this toe back. Just a minute. That would take it back. Well, here, let me do this. To look like that. See there? You straight across all the way. But
That's kind of scary.
it's really not. It's really not. You don't hardly take anything off because you're standing up there at an angle, coming back, and I'll show you what it looks like. If I can find a picture of what it looks like on Valor, there's hardly nothing. You don't even see it. If you always put the foot down, take that back at an angle and put the foot down, you wouldn't even hardly see nothing. See? Let's see, where is Valor's? See if I can find. Trying to, oh, up here. Okay. Oh, nope, that's not it. Well, when all is said and done, and I take his foot back, let's open that up. Okay, I've just taken a little off there. Let's see. When all is said and done, it don't look any different than that.
Okay.
And I took off a lot of wall. Well, let's go look at the foot before it was trimmed. See, it looks scary in the picture. Okay, but this is the foot before it's trimmed. Okay, if I was to take this foot, let's see. Paint, it's probably gonna be huge. Okay, well, I'm gonna map this foot the same way, okay? All right, so we come in here and we make our line. And then, okay, I'm gonna cut off the apex of frog, which is gonna be about to here. Then I'm gonna measure to from here to the white line, which is gonna wind up being about there. Okay, then I'm gonna take that measurement. Okay, And I'm going to come down here. And then I'm going to draw me a line here. Which that's, see how much sole will be opened once I trim these bars up and take that down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I'm going to come up here and do the same thing to my toe that I just did to yours. Just a second here. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Let's go across here like this. Now I had to take out a little bit of that sole in the toe there too. So the white line is ultimately right about here. Okay. So then I'm going to come in here and take out that toe. Rasping back at an angle. Just the angle that you're standing there, pointing your arm at the toe. See there? Same thing.
Okay.
Let me do this. Well, here, let's do this. Of course, this is a back foot. Let's see, let's resize. Still want it a little bigger. Okay, well, let's do yours again. Do there. There, get the real apex there, which is about there. The real toe, which is about there. Okay, and I'm to come in and you're not really cutting the toe off like what you're seeing. You're just putting this bevel on it and you can't see it. You can't see the toe hardly here. Let's see, what is it gonna look like? If I could put it how it was gonna look, it would look something like this. Just a minute. Gonna kind of look like that. You're gonna see a rim still and stuff, you know. Well then as I'm rasping, you'll see that I go ahead and I start rasping this part too. See?
Mm-hmm.
So that I'm kind of blending these pillars in like so. You know. Just a minute. Let me do this. See how you're getting spread out over here. You need to come in clear into here, over here. You see that?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then, of course, you've already rasped this all down flat. You understand? So this wall's already flat and everything like that. So you're gonna have this wide wall here, and so you just take it, you knock off all the hard outer horn tubules. See? And you wind up with that. There. See, that's not severe, is it?
No.
That's not severe at all. You know, he's still a 3 1/4 inches dorsal wall, which that one wild horse I always show, he's got 3.5 inch dorsal walls with an inch full of sole in his toe. Now,
wow.
I showed them 2 videos where I did this same trim basically in 2017 to this same foot. And in that video, his toe was more concave. He did not have as much sole. And he still had a 3¼ inch dorsal wall. But in this video, he's got a ton of sole, way more than he had in 2017, and still has the same dorsal wall.
Wow.
See? Because as you get the heels right, as you get the horn tubules more lined up, the sole ridge gets corrected and thickens. And this agrees with the research that Gene Overnick did on the wild horses, that even though they had very short dorsal walls, they had very thick sole. Whereas when we first start out, we've got thin sole and it can be the same or longer dorsal wall.
Yeah,
You
she's
know?
got thin soles, but I don't think they're as thin as they were.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, does that make you feel a little better there?
It does, but could you look at the lateral and the medial views? And
Lateral and
tell me
medial.
if I need to scoop or what I need to do with them.
Okay, since you're being a squeaky wheel, I will.
I'm squeaking. You keep saying to squeak, so I'm squeaking. Go back the other direction.
Okay.
One
Well,
more.
see, what?
There you go.
Okay, what you're going to do by taking this, first of all, when you take the wall down, that's going to take all these. Let's look at this now. Okay, see, understanding what happens when you rasp these walls down. If you look at your trim on those back feet you did, same thing's going to happen here. Just a minute. Nah. Okay. What the hoof wall goes down and forward, right? Look here how this is straighter than this piece here. See, you've already got straighter horn tubules up to here than you do here. So you gotta don't worry about that. Just don't worry about it because it's gonna kind of take care of itself for now. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's just go up here. What happens when I move that? Okay, look here. Up to that door. Okay, here's where your horn tubule is going to be when you take the wall down. Here's where it is now. See why when you rasp your wall down to the level of the sole, it backs up all your horn tubules, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you do that thing in the toe, I'm showing you, that's going to do the same thing. This, you know, I can't hardly do it here, right here, but your horn tubules right here, it's going to wind up, well, not there, but, you know, it's going to wind up further back this way. That's all. You know, this is what I'm telling you about, how you have to work with these horn tubules because you want this area here to eventually come back to here. See?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's going to partially do that when you trim it. See? Why is that? Because the foot grows down and forward. So look, it's right here right now. If you were to keep letting it grow, it winds up here. So it was here, it winds up here. And so if you trim it, it winds up here. See what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why the feet tend to collapse and go forward if you don't trim them often enough because of the leverage.
Yeah, I'm thinking right now that she's got some leverage on her pillars because her pillars have gotten out of hand again.
Well, that's just going to happen. It happened to me too. Happens to me too. You know, but the trim I'm asking to do is not drastic, but it has to be done. because otherwise you're going to go in the other direction to more hoof distortion.
And that's kind of what I think is happening, and I don't want her doing that.
Yeah, no, you know, so, you know, none of this is perfect, unfortunately. You know, I can never guarantee your horse is not going to be tender-footed, or, you know, and some of it is just being tender-footed, just like when you know, because you're changing some things. So it, you know, they got to live on those feet.
Right.
You know, but I do know this, that my horse is not tender-footed after I trim him, ever anymore. And you see what I do in those trims, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he just is never tender anymore. You know, that doesn't mean I'm going to go run him down a road with big rocks and gravel in it and expect him to just go, oh, this feels great. Do you understand? That's not normal. And that's baloney. This gravel crunching BS. Okay, so let me explain that I grew up on a ranch and we had horses we had to work on. And we were constantly told, do not ride in the middle of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Anytime you can, you get off to the side of the road because your horses get concussive. You know, they can get road founder.
Yep.
Okay? So it just sends the wrong message. It is totally ignorant and stupid. All right, to think that you're going to get your horse's feet in shape by running him down a gravel road where they have taken rocks, they have crushed, that's not pea gravel. They have taken rocks, they have crushed the gravel, it's got pointy ends, and you got these people taking and running their horse down a road, walking, I don't care, even walking. Why the heck should you walk down the big chunky gravel road when you got a borrow pit right there or side of the road and it's got grass? It's ignorant. It's ignorant, and this is what they're teaching these people because they have no horse sense. Okay? Just because people have horses doesn't mean they have horse sense. Because people in the olden days, when you had to survive on that horse, you would not do anything so stupid. See? But this is what barefoot trimming has taught people. Oh, gravel crunchers. Oh, well, let's throw a bunch of sharp rocks out there and force them to walk through it because we think that we are developing their foot. It's a lie from the pit of hell. Okay, I'm over with my rant, but that's the truth. Okay?
Yep.
All right. See, I just seen that the other day. Some gal sells boots, showing a video where she's walking this thoroughbred down a gravel road with big old chunks of gravel and making that horse walk. And you can tell that horse really stiff in the front and he's not really caring for it all that much, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it just irked me. Oh, look, I'm making him into a gravel cruncher. Yeah, what you're going to make him into is dog food, you know? Because road founder, look it up. Horses used to get it all the time. Who was it? We had somebody, had a couple people, their horses got loose and ran all over the country and wound up losing their whole soul.
Wow.
You know, Pam, I can't remember her last name right now. That happened to her. You know, you don't get a horse's feet in shape by running him down man-made gravel roads. See? And the horse would not choose that necessarily.
Oh, for sure.
Anyway, so that's how I feel about that. Yeah, when I was a kid, see, if you ran the horse, first of all, if the horse was barefoot and you ran the horse or on the gravel road and you got caught, then you got your shoes taken off and the horse taken away and you had to walk home. And I'm telling you the truth. You know?
I bet you didn't have to do that more than once.
Nope, not more than once.
Nope.
You know? So anyway, yeah, well, I live with kind of an ornery family though. So, but anyway, you know, it's just that people don't know. It's this crap that these gurus are telling them. And it's just hurting them and hurting their horses. So, okay. Well, does anybody have anything else they want to say?
That helps a lot, Linda. Thank you. I was really concerned about her heels.
Okay.
That helps a lot. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
You'll do good. You'll do good. You're just going through this stage, and the thing about it is, she's got some good heels going now, and lots of changes, some good changes I see in this foot. Just do not fret.
Fret not, huh?
Yeah, fret not.
Linda,
Yes, dear.
I sent you a message. I just need a little bit of help with just the one
Okay.
really difficult foot. I sent you a message like I think it was on Tuesday or something. My full name's Rachel Greet, and it was that he's
Yeah.
a grey.
Okay. Now I remember. And see, that's why I said in that deal, I forget who did where, what, and when. So you got to just keep bugging me.
Yeah, no, I can
I do want to help people, but I just,
Yep.
you know, I'm not a very organized person anyway. So that's why I
That's
have
right,
all
neither
my
am I.
bills taken out of my account, or the lights go off, and the phone goes off, and I'm going, what the heck? Okay, let's see. All right, so I gotta find you. Let's see.
Yeah, so, I'm Rachel Greet.
Yeah.
So EL. Yep, that's the one.
Okay,
Find our
so-
message.
Oh, I love that picture. Okay, so is it this one here?
Yeah, yep. So, so that was before and after. So that was like before I started trimming him,
Yeah.
and apparently
Wow,
Barry had been there just a few weeks before,
that's terrible.
and yeah, and then so like well, I've been just like slowly trimming, and he was really difficult to trim to start with.
Yeah.
He had like just real terrible in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah,
So
I
we've
can
taken
tell.
a long.
Was he hard to do
To get
too?
him
I mean,
going.
was he a difficult horse, or just the foot was so hard? And
His feet were so sore, he just wouldn't stand, and like
Oh,
whereas
yeah.
the other fellows took it as bad news, bad behavior. I got like a carpet for him,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't like the carpet started, but once he learned that the carpet meant that's where he got to rest, he just stood there, and still hard to
Aw.
do his feet. And he hit me in the face a couple of times with his back foot when I was doing his fronts.
Aw.
But it was
Swiping
more
at you?
him telling me, yeah, just telling me he was sore, you know.
Yeah,
So
poor
we do
guy.
a couple of times, but now I can do 3 at a time, and he's pretty comfortable with that.
Good.
And he's much better at standing, and he's still lame though, which
Yeah.
makes me a little. I don't really like him being lame, but I can't really help it at the moment. So I haven't trimmed him for probably up to 4 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
So he's definitely probably past. I should have trimmed him earlier, but we obviously. I mean, we got very locked down in Australia,
Yeah.
so I haven't been able. But I've gotten back out there, taken some pictures,
Okay.
and I'll be doing the trim this weekend. It's just this foot. So if you go back up the message a bit more,
Okay.
you'll
Well,
see kind of more
First
of
of
the
all, I can
situation of the
tell.
wall.
Yeah. Remember how we were talking earlier, and I said if there's a bunch of junk in the bottom of the foot, it's damaging the sole corium.
Yeah, I took it
Remember?
out because it was
Yeah,
just
you
terrible.
did.
It was just.
And this looks
It took
great.
a lot to get it. Took a lot to get out, I tell you, because we've been in drought, so it was all so
Yeah.
rock hard.
Okay, so
If you go
let
up,
me, just a second. Let me do the options and get it bigger. Okay, so this foot,
so if you go up, so that was it. That was another picture from the client before. So if you go, and that was before I trimmed it. It's back a bit. If you go back into the message, it might be easier to find. I did them in like groups of feet with the 5 different views to them. That's one of his other feet. That one there. So that's the bad foot there. If
Okay,
you go back.
this is the bad
Oh,
foot
not
or the
that
other?
one.
Okay, just,
No, not that one.
let's see, where was?
It's got like a really weak dorsal wall. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's another bad one, but it's not the worst one.
This
That one. Yeah.
Oh, I
That's
bet
the
he's
bad.
got,
That's the bad.
yeah. Let's see, let's look at some more of it here. Well, it's bad
So-
because look at his pastern, how it's shoved forward. And the way this foot is
And
like
so
this, he's probably got some coffin bone remodeling there. Because
That's what
his
I
coffin
thought.
bone, yeah, coffin bone's aimed that way and the hoof capsule's aimed that way. So again, that's that, he doesn't have weight bearing equilibrium in the capsule. So the capsule's pushing up this way and the foot is pushing back that way.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to make sure he doesn't rotate. So I'm trying to leave toe, but then that dorsal wall flicks out, and if I'm not careful, that I'm worried that leverage will continue to stop that connection up near the coronary band when
Yeah.
it's growing out. Because I told the owner that I'm going to grow the capsule out so that all of this distortion, which has been there, like it's been there for 5 years, that distortion.
Yeah.
They said that he got foot rot, like a foot rot in really muddy conditions. But I just said, like it's. I don't think it's the foot rot. Like I think it's just the trimming. And they've had 2 different barriers on it, and he's had shoes on and
Yeah.
all sorts. And then they got this master barefoot trimmer, and it's just gone. And I just said, like I looked at it because she's a relative of ours, and I was like, I don't want to dish your farrier. But he's not doing a great job. She goes, yeah, I don't know. And then she said that the last 6 months he started going pigeon-toed. So I've started the capsule. He was trimming to the distortion. So I've tried to fix that up. So I've gotten he's not pigeon-toed anymore. So that's a good start, but he's still sore.
Oh yeah, I can see why it would be on that foot. I mean, wow.
Well, do you have any idea what you do with that muddy bit underneath? That's like the laminar wedge there, like still muck stuck in there.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that as well because you got to be careful what you do because you don't want to destabilize what he does have because then his foot could just fall right through the bottom. Okay, well, your heel here, this heel point, this will have to come off right there because
and as I said, it's a few weeks of growth.
Yeah, this is going to push that there forward, so you'll have to just take that point off and re-establish the heel over here. Right now the heel's right here. It needs to be this needs to be like that. See?
And should I move that bevel back a bit with the heel when I do the heel?
Yeah, you can do that just along the side here. See, it actually would be like this. See?
Yeah.
Right there. Just a little bit there. He hasn't got a whole lot of foot to work with. He's already rotated.
No.
And I can tell by this that he has a lot of coffin bone. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a substantial amount of coffin bone remodeling where his toe has worn away because of of the way the cartilage is up and back like this, but yet you've got this dip here, and the pastern is pushed forward, it would not surprise me if he had a substantial amount of coffin bone remodeling. So
And
they're
can I get
go
that?
ahead.
Sorry, could I get that dorsal wall back to being straight, even with the remodeling? Like, can I get
No.
him less rotated? No.
I don't believe so. But
Okay.
see, I can't, unless you take x-rays, you don't know. They should have if they got the money and stuff, they should have x-rays taken of this 1 foot.
Yeah, they don't. That's
You're
all.
at-
It's hard.
Yeah.
So,
I imagine, it is, I figured, but I can tell by looking, he's got some coffin
Yeah.
bone damage.
that's what I thought too. Especially when you're trimming and you just see how much the wall has just been, it's so disconnected.
Yeah.
You just know, like, yeah, it's pretty hectic. But I'm
Yeah.
trying to stop him from rotating because he
Yeah.
hasn't rotated fully before. So I don't want that to happen. I want to make sure I keep enough toe out
Yeah.
to really just stretch the foot more than anything. So
Yeah. And then, keep working on his heels and stuff, but anytime you got this going on, you want to make sure you take off that corner. You see what I'm saying? Because this would be the old heel. And since you've been growing some,
yeah, it was.
now he's got a new heel that'll be established up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you more.
So,
I
that's
got
all right.
some.
That helps.
Yeah, I got some, that I'm also working on that I screwed up, every horse except the ones that I didn't trim, they have good feet. So there you go. It's true. I got this guy, I've been trimming for him for 10 years or longer. Oh my goodness. And so I've been doing these same horses for all this time, plus mine. And at one time I had some more, but I just don't do that anymore. So anyway, so we did have 5 horses. Well, we did have a different 4 horses. I had this mare, when I first trimmed her, she was major laminitis, laminar wedge, and I managed to trim that mare sound, even trimming her heels out. So that's a miracle in itself. But anyway, she died, not my fault. And she just got colic or something up and died. I got one of her feet because he burned her. He cremated her and stuff, but he went and found me 1 foot, and it's the capsule with the bone in it, And so out of these horses, I got a Morgan, a quarter, and 2 quarter horses, and this mare and this other gelding. Well, then this mare was ornery without a friend, and she lived 30 miles away at his son's house. So I did her the least. And so she's got the best feet out of the horses I did because I did her the least. Okay?
Yeah.
So now I'm restoring, of course, the heels on these other 2 horses, right? And on what's left on her to restore. But anyway, they got her a companion horse that will not let you trim him. And he's got the best feet out of all of them. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, my main horse is like, I'm too cheap and tight, and that's why I started trimming in the first place. I didn't want to have to pay like $60 for someone to do a quick trim. Yeah. So I just learned myself thinking, how hard can it be?
Yeah.
And like I Tim a lot of the time a bit long, and he has what you'd call rock crunches. Like, he has huge feet, and then especially since finding you, like, it's just made him indestructible. Like,
good.
I'm in a really rocky area, and
Yeah.
people go, "Don't you need shoes?" I'm, well, no, not really, because he's just
isn't that great?
Fine.
That's great. I'm really glad about that. I wish I could find See, I wish I could find this one video I did. Let me think. Where would it be? I did this video of them horses showing their feet, showing that horse's feet that never gets done. Well, I'll have to find it because it's pretty funny, actually. You know. And he flat won't let you trim him. I did trim him one time. We had to tie a leg up, you know, and go through the whole rodeo with him. You know, I took pictures of his feet before. I have a video of him somewhere that I think it's on YouTube too. And so he never gets trimmed, and he's just got great feet. I just hate that horse. No, just joking. But he does, and you can't do nothing with him anyway. He can't. They don't ride him. They don't do nothing. They don't ride any of them. But
Yeah, just companion.
yeah. So anyway, if somebody's listening to that, see, I trimmed the heels out of my horses because I did barefoot trimming the way that it's taught by all those big shots, and followed all their methods. And my horses were never fully sound. They were always in a state of transition, you know. So sometimes I get to talking about that, and I'll hear that little bell go off, you know, where somebody leaves, you know, and I went, oh, they probably said the wrong thing there. I don't care.
Well, the fellow who was doing that other horse, so he did their other two horses, and their hind feet are in, like, they're not rotated, but they're very tall. They're not great, and they're very small. So I'm also doing them, but he didn't clean out the sole of any of them. So they all had really compacted soles, and they all had really big, gross. And even like this is like in drought. Like, so we're in drought, so it's very hard. It's very dry.
Yeah.
And cleaned up their frogs. And one of them, even though we're in drought and there's no dams for them to stand in, there's nothing, there's no moisture anywhere. It's just literally dust. One of them had thrush in their frog because it had been there for so long. So I'm now treating her for thrush.
Yeah. Wow.
And yeah, and I'm trying to lengthen their feet out again and get a bit of heel up as well. But they're quite good to.
Well, they know, you know, they appreciate what you do for them. Like even though this one horse, this Morgan, you know, and I trimmed the feet out of him for however many years, you know, that horse sees me coming and he nickers and runs up to the fence, you know. But I didn't do what a lot of people do, which is put them all in abject misery for, you know. I mean, mine were all semi. I didn't realize they were unsound as they were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, the husband was joking when he wouldn't stand for me, and he said, "Oh, aren't you going to shove a rasp up his gut now?" And I was like, "Well, no, I'm not, because I don't want to get kicked, because I can't wrestle a half-a-ton horse."
Yeah.
So no, I'm just going to keep him working over. And when he wants to rest, he can go onto the carpet. And now he stands like pretty much the whole time. It's only when he gets really sore, and then him. And I
they
do it
know
next
you're
week,
helping
so.
them, because have you heard stories of horses getting really difficult to trim?
Well, yeah, I've had a few of them myself.
Yeah. Well, but no, I mean horses that before were very good, getting really difficult. See?
Yeah, right.
And when I was, that's when I left being on the ABC Hoof Care group that was on Yahoo before it was on Facebook, because she was telling people how to get a trim done, how to blindfold your horse, how to ask the vet for drugs to sedate them.
Oh, God.
And these were horses that were formerly easy to trim.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, that's not good at all. What the heck? What the heck is wrong with you? You know?
It's like when people tell you to twitch them, and it's kind of like, oh, well, I'm not really into twitching because if I have to twitch them, I don't really want to be under them.
Yeah, no kidding. You know,
Dangerous, you know?
yeah.
So,
Well, anyway,
Yeah,
did that, I'm sorry I can't help you more than that.
no, that's good, thank you, because I'll just keep that leverage off the toe if I can, just
Yeah.
off that really, like,
Yeah,
and then I'll do those heels a bit better
Now,
too and take that bevel.
something, there is
towards the-
something you might be able to do, which is because of the way the wall grows, how it curves, you can make a groove
yeah.
in the wall to separate some of the hardest outer tubules so that the ones
Mhm.
growing down straighter from above will grow down straighter.
Yeah, I might give that a go.
Have you ever done that?
No, I haven't, because I've never had one with a flare. Like I've had laminar wedges before, but they're all founder ponies and they seem to be able to grow with really good connectivity.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had one too hard, so.
Well, I'll see if I can get some pictures together on that, but it's getting late here.
Hmm.
I just can't go any further.
No, that's fine. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, well, everybody have a good night.
You too,
Good
Linda.
night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, you
Hey.
too. Thank you very much, Linda.
You're welcome. Have a good week. Look forward to seeing your pictures.
Thanks. It's gonna be, I don't know, maybe a couple, 3 days before I can get back out there to trim, but at least now I know what to do.
Okay, well, watch that video a few more times,
Oh, absolutely.
especially the rasping aspect.
Okay.
And
Okay.
use markers, you know, like the way I use them on there. You don't have to get the colored ones or nothing, but use them the way I do on there.
Okay.
To you know, control where your rasp goes and all that.
Okay.
Okay, dear. Bye.
Thanks much.
See you, Linda.
Bye.